Hello and welcome back to Master Game Design, Unreal Engine 5, Stylized Environment and Third-Person Blueprint course. In the last lesson we left off with the door mechanics of open, close and interact, and we said that we're gonna complete the item. Before we do that, I caught a mistake I did. I think it's a mistake. We will test it. Right now we set when door animation is finishing, we set from closed to open, but when we are going forwards, we have set it to opening, and when going backwards, we have set it to closing. So this should go from opening to open, and from closing to closed. Right? Backwards, it's closing, so it's closed. Forwards, it's opening, so it's open. Yeah. Anyway, back to our item check. This out here. We're gonna need a function with two outputs. So let's create a function first of all and call it check item. And this function is gonna be pure. This means it doesn't need an executable, and it only does some operations that we want. We want two outputs, and we want them of the type Boolean. The first output would be no item. This could also be an enumeration, to be honest, if you're using it as a... If you're commonly having to answer a question that has the same answers, 3-4 answers, this could be an enumeration, but right now we're gonna make it a Boolean. And let's say the second one is gonna be correct item. So when we were doing the setup, we got the harbor game mode reference, and from here we're gonna get player reference because we know that harbor has the player. Actually, we don't need the player reference because we have hosted the inventory on the game mode. So what we need is the item we are holding, if we are holding an item. So we're gonna get inventory item stats. So what we want from here is to first of all break. Now the only way to know if we have an item and which item is the item name. Actually, we could ask if we have an item, and this could we see if any of this is valid, if the mesh is valid or the image is valid. But right now we're gonna check if the name is equal to nothing. If it's equal to nothing, then no item is true. But we want also to check for the correct item. So if it's equal to required item, let's say. Yeah, required item. So we put this at instance editable and expose and spawn, and this is our checker for that item. So we have to type on the editor the item. Now, on a larger scale, again, you could do this with data tables, you could do this with enumerations and data tables, you could do it with many ways. Right now, we are just gonna hard code and manually input values. Cool. Compile and save. And back to our event graph on our blueprint door. Event interact action. So from item, we're gonna ask a question. Does it hold any item? So we're gonna break our check item pure function. As you can see, it's different from other functions. It doesn't require the executable, as I said, and it's green like this. It gives us some outputs. It could have inputs also. It's a nice also way to keep things tidy, besides the obvious usabilities. If it's true, then we should jiggle again. Oh. because the player has no item, the door requires an item, so jiggle the door, it's locked, it's still locked. If it's false, so the player is holding an item, we should ask that, do we have the correct item? And actually I'm gonna put a not bool here to reverse it. So I can connect the true to jiggle, because if we don't have the correct item, we have the correct item, yes, so no, it goes from false. We don't have the correct item, so this comes no and becomes yes and goes to jiggle. And I'm gonna move this here. So if we have the correct item, we want to remove the item from the inventory. So I'm gonna get my ask game harbor, game mode, and remove item. Sorry. How have we called this function? Let's go to our game mode. This is drop item, pick up item, drop item. We don't have remove item. Okay, let's create a remove item. Remove item. So inside our game harbor, game mode harbor, we're gonna create the function remove item, which we're gonna copy paste these parts here. We're gonna keep the failsafe of has item, but we're not gonna spawn an actor. So I'm gonna copy paste this here, connect this, connect this here. So we are setting the has item to none if he has item, failsafe. We are setting the stats of the item to nothing, and we revert the animation of the widget. Compile and save, go back to our door, and remove item. So let's go test it. We have an item which starts to cone, and let's change this item to a cube and call it cube. Let's change the icon, of course. We have this devil for the cube, and we need two doors. One, now you see, because the pivot is here, if I press end, it snaps inside the ground. So now I have to place it like this. It's fine. So we have two doors, and let's set them up. This one is unlocked. The status is closed, and the rotation to add is 90. Required item, none. And this one needs an item. Its state is closed. Rotation 90. Let's put this minus 90. I have the same. Well, one of them will open towards us, and will push us, but it's fine. And the required item, let's say it's cube. Now, spelling here and case sensitive is important. So you have here cube with lower C, it should be with lower C here. Anyway, so let's play, and let's hope that everything will work. So I'm getting the cone, going to the store. It's not opening because I have the cone. And this door opens, closes, fine. I have the cone, it doesn't consume the cone. Now the widget is kind of an issue here, but we will fix it. But this jiggles as it should. It's a little bit weird of a jiggle, but fine. Let's get the cube. Oh, I changed to the devil also. Like this. Got the devil, got a slimy face. We use the cube. And it still jiggles. Awesome. You know, there is some very profound reason that we didn't change the mechanism from item to unlocked. So this door becomes unlocked. Let's test it again. Got the cube. Oh, let's test it with the wrong item first. Doesn't work. Get the cube. Consumes the cube. Door opens. Now, about the widget. There could be done many rules about it. And we'll set a very basic one. Let's create a function and see where we're going to call it. Oh, created variable. I'm sorry, and let's say function. Say hide widget. No, toggle widget visibility. And let's have actually one widget. We don't need two for this scenario. Let's say we only have one widget from the side the door is opening. Actually, we can move it towards the other way around. Anyway, for the widget, I think this is something we're going to do on the next lesson, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.